All right, guys. I think we have the sound now. Just trying to figure out how we get. I think we're good to go now. We are set up. I can see that we are here. So since we are on mute, we're going to go back through what we were just talking about.
Nothing happened. What are you talking about?
Nothing happened, guys. What's up, guys? This is Off the Bench. We're here for our midweek update, and we're getting ready to talk about, of course, the Week 12 preview coming up of the games that are happening this weekend, and we have a just one heck of a weekend coming up where you can sit down on the couch starting at 11 o'clock and flip that TV on and have it all throughout the day. Of course, this ACC Doomsday scenario that we have really handed to us in our laps and is going to cause for a chaotic start to the holiday season as well. Actually, we're in the mid holiday season.
We're deep into the holiday season.
Started way back in
August,
yeah, according to me.
Week 0, if I'm not mistaken.
But we are going to go through the ACC Doomsday scenario that Reese Davis presented on the college
it's real simple
playoff.
It's just real simple.
It's really simple. When he was talking on the show, it was really simple laid out, and it's a real possibility. And of course, Auburn's future. What's happening with them now? DJ Durkin had an incredible performance. Really, the other night, calling plays in his debut as the interim head coach of Auburn, and I think I like the possibility of him sticking around at Auburn into next year and into the future, saving some bucks on going hiring a new coach and put it into the NIL and athletic department.
While we were muted, I made the comment that means I don't get my Dion Neon Primetime Sanders in Opelika.
Dion doesn't even deserve the job at Colorado right now. You know, he's not on any hot boards, but he should be, but I think that's because of all the money he's generated within Boulder.
Yeah, I think maybe he's on a hot seat, and that
it's not going to get sparked.
No,
soon. he's on an unlit bonfire, is what it sounds like.
He's just one. And at this point, what are they going to do? I mean, it's Colorado. I mean, I think with this whole situation with the playoffs, eventually we're going to go to 16 teams. We all see it coming. It's the inevitable train coming down the track. My only hope is that we stop at 16, or that weird 22 thing that West Virginia and Washington State asked for like 6 months ago. It's now okay. Cool. You're our head coach. Here's a couple $1 million. Here's a bunch of players. Here's $22.5 million. Go buy players. Oh, you didn't make the playoff in 3 years? Here's your hat. What's your hurry? Please move along.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're going to have, I don't know, 30, 40, maybe 50 teams that think they should be in the playoff every year. You're going to have another, 30, 40-ish that think, we're going to make a bowl game every year, and then you have everybody else. And if you're one of those, 30 or 40 programs, we can all name off the top of our head, basically anybody from Virginia Tech up, and you don't make the playoff every 3 to 4 years, they're going to be like, all right, cool, it's your fault. Bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Hey, so we go through this, and I also, you had made the comment while we were muted too, that Bill Belichick possibly going to the New York Giants. That's gained some steam today after they fired Dabble over there.
Yeah.
I don't see the why.
Which was a terrible firing, by the way.
He was actually doing great. I think this was the best really outlook we've seen for the Giants in a long time under Dabble.
Yeah.
And, of course, with Scadaboo's injury, it hasn't helped.
And of the starting 22 from week 1, how many are still walking?
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% true. And the way we're talking about this, right, you see how the Patriots are looking right now at 8-2 in the pros. Vrabel, obviously, first year there, he played for the Patriots. It's a nice homecoming for him, but he's got this team in a very good position with Drake May quarterback. And, a lot of these stars that are on this team, rookie contracts.
Yes.
And Giants are kind of in the same scenario with Cam Scadaboo. Of course, he's hurt right now, but going forward,
Dart,
rookie contract, right? So, there's a lot of it looked like we were possibly setting up for the future in a couple of years to maybe see a Patriots, New York Giants Super Bowl once again. Fortunately, it's not going to happen. Probably not now with the instability happening within the Giants organization because of Dabble, the firing there. don't think you see that. I don't think Billy's going to be on the other side coaching that game.
I'd like to point out, I don't remember how many weeks ago it was that I declared Bill Belichick the most overrated coach probably
He's
ever.
gotten some wins. He's gotten some wins the last couple of weeks.
Yes, you are correct. UNC has found a way to pull, or the other teams have found a way to pull defeat out of the jaws of victory. The fact that Mac Jones at the 49ers is actually doing really good is just proof of how terrible of a coach Bill Belichick is.
Well, I went through this on a radio hit today, in WVNN here in Huntsville, and it, in a sort of way, Bill, in the way where he's at right now, I just don't see the possibility of him jumping ship to go to the Giants or being really fired right now. And I think the best move forward for North Carolina is you got to beef up this offensive line in the offseason. Okay. You got to build some trust with Bill Belichick and the fan base and build the stability there. Cause the last thing you want is some coaching instability at North Carolina. That's the last thing you want at all. So, moving forward, I think they really need to beef up their offensive line in the offseason. They need to go get some receivers and help out Lopez over there. Lopez is oozing with potential. We saw that at South Alabama. Yes. I may know him, but that's not why I'm saying that. But, he's always oozed with potential and what he could do, but he needs that offensive line. He needs the receivers to step up, and they need to go get some NFL talent on the defense as well.
And to circle back to how you started this whole conversation about the doomsday scenario for the ACC, it does not take a rocket scientist, and since we live here in Huntsville, Alabama, can find a couple of those, to put together a halfway decent ACC team that could possibly make the playoffs. Now, granted, we are screaming towards they're not. There's actually two scenarios. There's a scenario where no ACC team makes it.
Yeah.
And there's a scenario where the champion of the ACC doesn't make it, but an ACC team does.
So, and that's the whole deal, because the committee, the chair committee kind of tipped his hand the other day and because he went and said that the ACC, they're not impressed with their out-of-conference opponents.
Correct.
And, of course, within the ACC, that's not impressive right now.
Correct.
Okay, so Miami was the only team that they're looking at in their out-of-conference schedule that looks impressive. They went and played Notre Dame, right? Mm-hmm. They had these games. And won. So that's the only impressive part for the ACC right now. So how they're looking at it, okay, and here's the scenario how it goes on. If Louisville beats Notre Dame, Clemson beats Louisville, Florida State takes a loss, 3 and 4 ACC teams finishing with similar 2-loss, 1-loss records, but no clearly elite resume. This creates a scenario where you get no ACC team in because Louisville goes out and beats Notre Dame. So now you're looking at it as well as that Notre Dame win that impressive.
I'll even go a step further than that. It's as easy as Duke wins.
Well, period. Duke wins and
3 straight weeks.
Finished out 8-4.
They'd be finished 8-4. They would go to the ACC championship game because their 3 of their 4 losses are outside of the conference. They only have 1 in-conference loss. They would go to the ACC championship game as a completely unranked. God knows how far the committee had to go to get to Duke. They win the ACC championship, and then we're looking there and going, I think at that point, the committee would finally say, you know what? Miami did beat Notre Dame, and they both ended the season 10-2. And I know we've had Notre Dame ranked 6-8 spots ahead of them for the last couple of weeks, but congratulations, Miami. You're the 11 seed.
No, it's, it creates a scenario, and in this scenario, you'd have to see, because here's how the rule states, because this is where a lot of people get confused. They think the ACC has a guaranteed bid. They don't. The top 4 conference championship winners, actually it's the top 5
championship winners,
they get an automatic bid within the playoff. Okay, but if the ACC is not ranked over for example, the Sun Belt or the American Conference,
or both,
right? In that scenario, those 2 teams would get in from
which is what it would have to be. It would have to be both.
It'd have to be both. Yes,
you would have to have James Madison and either UCF.
Memphis may be out.
Excuse me 1 second while I look at my cheat sheet. South Florida.
South Florida, yeah. So the scenario creates, and honestly, which I think is an amazing outcome. I think this could look cool. It would really kind of create the chaos that I like to see towards the end of the season.
So you could have a possibility, and I'm just going to just off the top of my head, your 12 could be Ohio State, Indiana, James Madison, South Florida, Texas Tech. That's 5.
Yeah.
6 SEC schools.
Yeah.
And then Notre Dame.
Well, I mean, you can't argue that the ACC or the SEC is not the most qualified conference to get into the playoff. We're looking at the Big Ten. We're struggling to find a third team. Ohio State and Indiana. Oregon's still there, obviously.
Have you looked at their schedule?
Yeah, exactly. The schedule's not there for Oregon.
If Oregon wins the next 3 games, they deserve to be in.
Yes, of course they do. Okay,
let me not at all try to poo-poo on Oregon. I just don't see how they do it.
They have a good last couple games, right? USC, and I think who's
at Washington.
At Washington, okay. So, but before that, their schedule is kind of
they got Minnesota this weekend, which is not. I mean, it's Minnesota.
It's Minnesota, right?
It is what it is.
It's one of those mid-tier Big Ten schools.
Minnesota's 6-3. It's a 25.5 point spread.
Yeah, because what is their schedule looking like? Minnesota's
I know, but
bad. Yeah. So we argue that Big 12. You can argue that. Well, they would be the third highest rated conference in my opinion, because you have Texas Tech making noise with there. BYU had been ranked before they took loss last week, and they took a loss handedly. So you have Texas Tech, who is a viable favorite to get in there, but the Big 12 is so condensed and close rather than the Big 10 where there's a big drop off. The Big 12 is so close below Texas Tech, and Texas Tech is a very high, I would say power ranking favorite amongst the rest if you put neutral field and stuff like that into action.
And then here's what kills me. I watched the excuse me. I watched the show yesterday, obviously, as we all did, to see who's the 12, who's the top 25 and everything, and listen to Reese and Booger and the guys pontificate on the awesomeness of somebody's head coach. I don't even remember who it was. They were like, they deserve because their head coach is awesome. It's like, okay, that means nothing in the giant scheme of life, but just to look at this and to see how they keep talking about the third and possible fourth team from the Big Ten. And I just don't get it, because even if Michigan, who they keep coming back to, that Michigan's just hanging around, if they beat Ohio State at home the last game of the season for the 5th time in a row, they're in. Do we forget that Oklahoma beat Michigan? So at what point in time? Okay, yeah, you beat the number 1 team in the country at your own house. Awesome. You also lost to Oklahoma, at the beginning of the season. Do we not keep Oklahoma ahead of them? And then you look and go, Texas beat Oklahoma, so therefore do we keep Texas above Oklahoma? This whole who won when and everything, I think for the top 4, it's real simple, it's real clean, it's real cut, and really and truly, I'm an Alabama guy, graduated from the University of Alabama. I do not care if we are the 4 seed, the 1 seed, the 3 seed, whatever. I'll take the 5 seed. I'll be glad to have a game in Tuscaloosa and then play the 4 seed.
As an Alabama graduate, real quick, because I wanted to ask you this, because I had a presented approach to me today about a certain ticket to an Oklahoma game this weekend. And it was from an Alabama student. And they had said, hey, let me know if you want the ticket, right? And I said, well, I hit them back and I said, well, I want the ticket, but I don't know if I can use it because I'm not a student.
Right.
Could I use a student ticket? Is that possible?
Granted, I was there 100 years ago.
Yes, understood. Yes, rules may have changed.
Yes,
but
at some point when I was there, you had to take the ticket and you paid $35 to upgrade it to a student guest ticket.
Oh,
and you could then use the ticket or
It's
sell the ticket.
it's a lower bowl seat.
Yeah.
And I would pay the difference on that.
I'm a guess after 20 years, it's not $35 anymore.
Probably not.
With
But
inflation,
in that scenario, it would be around 110 completely for me to go in a lower bowl.
that's a
Steal.
that's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer, right? Don't think I'm going to go forward with it because the ticket's probably already sold because we didn't know how to go around that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, though, but yeah, the ACC Doomsday scenario is probably one of the most fascinating things that a lot of college football fans are watching right now toward the end of the season because we're all looking at what is the outcome going to be. ACC's weak. That's the end of it. Georgia Tech, they can't even be impressed anymore. They still got to play Georgia. Now, if they were to beat
Georgia,
we're
talking a whole different ballgame.
We're talking a whole different ballgame. I think at that point you do let in Georgia Tech.
But I think which makes it even more fun is Georgia just absolutely destroys Georgia Tech.
And then ACC looks weaker than could be.
And then they beat Duke
yeah.
in Charlotte the following week. And you look and go, sorry, boys.
What does Miami now look at the ACC like their little brother and they want to move toward the SEC soon?
I mean, how many teams from the state of Florida can the SEC legitimately take that makes sense? I, unfortunately, with the ESPN and the contract the ACC signed, because they thought it was great to be under contract for the next 3 bagillion years. That's 9 commas, I believe. And took little of, I think it's like $35 million per team.
It's going to go down soon, though.
Is it?
I think it's like 2029 is the buyout.
Yeah.
What really, it's realistic.
Yeah.
It's a realistic number. John Paul hitting us up on YouTube. Did you see how terrible both LSU and Alabama played? It was bad.
Yeah, one team kicked field goals.
Yep.
The other team scored a couple touchdowns.
Look, and Ty Simpson specifically wasn't impressive on Saturday, especially for a Heisman campaign. He did not have that type of game.
I've watched a lot of people talk about that game and everything, obviously, and they kept bringing up how close. There were 3 or 4 deep, wide open receivers that Ty missed by inches. And you're talking a 35-9 game instead of a 20-9 game.
Mm-hmm.
But at no point in time did it ever feel like, oh, LSU's fixing to win this game. Alabama went out there, did what they're supposed to do, got the W. Let's move on. Let's move on to Oklahoma. I'm telling you, these boys have got Oklahoma circled. Last year, Oklahoma was at their house. They were able to effectively end Alabama's season. Alabama has this Saturday is we got a lot of play-in games.
Mm-hmm.
Winner of this game is 100% in. Regardless, Alabama could lose to Eastern Illinois and Auburn. They're still in the SEC championship game. They're still in the playoff if they beat Oklahoma Saturday. If Oklahoma beats Alabama Saturday, Oklahoma's in.
I think no matter what, Alabama towards the end of the road, unless you absolutely have a horrible scenario here where Auburn and Oklahoma were to beat the Tide.
Yes.
That is the only chance you would see it. Now, as for Saturday, Ty Simpson, I didn't think had a great game. Running back still didn't do anything. Alabama's still a one-dimensional team, and I think they need to lean on that going forward. I don't see where Jam Miller or Kevin Riley jump up toward the end of the season and actually have a huge impact. I just do not see that happening this late in the season.
I think you keep them... You don't abandon the run game completely, but you use your speed and the little touch passes and the little outs to them and everything. To me, that's where these guys are really showing off. It's on the offense that we have an offensive line who is phenomenal at pass protection. Let them pass protect.
They're just not built for run blocking.
Which I don't know if you know, the guy that's got the ball every play kind of likes to throw the ball.
Yeah.
So...
All right, real quick here, John Paul hit us up again. You keep saying how weak the ACC is, but one of the worst ACC teams beat Alabama, so it doesn't make Alabama look very strong. Okay, there's the elephant in the room. That's what, we were waiting on that one. The elephant in the room is finally hit.
They beat them by 50 if they played Saturday.
Well, yes,
that was 48 and a hook. But
48 and a hook. Okay, these are 2 very different teams that we saw towards the end of the season. Guys, I see we're frozen on YouTube. We just got to wait that one out, and hopefully we come back here in a second. But to the point, I mean, and these 2 teams, very different from the beginning of the season. I think Alabama, if they would have had a couple games to jump, really get everything in a rhythm, then we would have a scenario where where Bama would actually dominate Florida State.
Correct.
Okay? And I think
Well, it
this
was
was
the
a very
perfect
surprise, and Norvell had weeks, months to prepare for this game.
yeah. It was the perfect storm. It was the new stadium getting revealed and everything. They got the big bad Alabama coming into town. You need me to look at the camera?
I can go get it in a second. Go ahead.
Okay. You got the big bad Alabama coming into town. They've had it, like I've said before, and I'll say it again. You beat Alabama. You storm the field. You tear down the goalpost. It's you made your season. Alabama beat you. It's just another Saturday.
That's true.
And so yes, Alabama lost to Florida State. If Alabama even just beats Florida State by 1, we're talking about probably there's an argument that they're the 1 seed.
To the scenario, yeah, I think you could make that argument but we're looking how weak that loss or that win would have became if Alabama would have won that game. I still don't think you maybe you'd still be arguing A&M and Alabama. I think because of how
I think the 4 straight ranked wins.
It's true. Hey guys, we are having camera issues. We're going to take about 2 or 3 minutes and get that right back on track. So this is off the bench. We'll be right back here. We're just going to fix this up real quick. All right, guys. I think we have some issues figured out here. Do not know what happened, but we are back having some technical issues today. If you hadn't noticed yet, Pops is not here with us. Pops is out of town today.
Stat boy, IT guy, not with us today.
He is out of town today. So I have been playing producer as well as host today. And as we can see, it's not going as smooth as we would like it. But we are chugging right along here, and we're still having a fun time just hanging out here for our midweek update show. Hey, real quick, guys, while we're at it, if you aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Trying to grow this thing. We want to keep it free for you all, and of course, it always will be free. But at the same time, it helps us. It helps the channel grow and helps get that push out there that we need and try to get this thing started and we can get on a bigger stage for it, something like that. But we're just having a fun time doing it. Hit that notification bell too, so when we go live, you get notified, and we all can hang out and have a good time here.
So we were discussing if Alabama was to have beaten Florida State. Ifs and buts, we're candy and nuts. We'd all have a great summer. Strength of schedule, Alabama is number 6. The next would be Georgia at 11, Texas A&M at Texas at 13, Texas A&M at 15, and then there's the drop. you've got Notre Dame at 30. You've got Indiana at 33. Ole Miss at 32. Ohio State at 41. So yeah, Alabama beats Texas A&M or Florida State that first game. Alabama was the number 1 team in the country. They slipped up. They messed up.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo, you don't get to pick what color jerseys you wear when we get to Miami.
Yeah, I mean, and so if Alabama were to have beat Florida State, I think you're looking at the possibility of, think about the case for DeBoer after how he performed last season. If he were to have beat Florida State right now, you're talking about a coach that would be undefeated right now.
Yes.
1, 2, they're calling for Nick Saban Part 2.
Yes.
Just how Alabama fans react to stuff, right? I mean, they would jump the gun on that so fast to say, hey, look, I mean, we had Saban and now we're moving on to the DeBoer era and we're looking good. But that Florida State loss, it is a stain on the resume.
Yeah.
It has happened and it's there. And unfortunately for Alabama, it's tucked them back at that 4 spot.
Can you do me a favor if Alabama was to continue to win 3 more regular season games, an SEC championship game, and then 3 playoff games, can we find and bring into the studio to interview the lady that was on the news when the Powerball got to like 1.7?
She said she was going to buy out DeBoer's contract.
The first 70 million she was going to do was to buy out DeBoer. I just want to interview her, see how she feels about it now. Not going to be mean to her. Just, hey, how you feel? How you feeling today? Because you didn't win the lottery, and 2, he did. So I just think it would be kind of fun to somebody somewhere will find that woman and interview her again
along the line. Yes, she will be found, and honestly, maybe they'll force her to say something good about DeBoer. That's what'll happen.
I give her, let her eat her hat. Here's your crow. Have a nice day. No reason to be mean to her or anything, but I think it would just be hilarious to, have her be at the trophy ceremony and when they touched back down in Tuscaloosa, and
John Paul hitting us up on YouTube here again. Aren't all SEC teams going to be considered to have the toughest schedules since they consider the SEC teams so much better or so much stronger than everybody else?
That's but
duh. That's kind of how it's put here, looking at strength of conference and strength of record. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
There's 4 major conferences, correct? If I'm not wrong,
4 major conferences.
Yes. One conference we discussed may get how many teams in?
6,
and the other
0.
One may get 0. The other one might get 6. I'm just saying, there's
drop off's got to be somewhere, and the group of 16 don't have the strength of record to do it, right? So, we keep looking at the scenario where the ACC completely dooms itself and collapses in on itself, which would create even more havoc moving into the landscape of changing college football and the how teams change conferences now. Whenever that buyout hits to where it gets low enough to where the teams can, buy out the conference and get out of it, you're looking at a conference that might completely. Are we going to look at a Pac-12 Part 2?
Oh man, that would. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the teams that are in the ACC, some of which don't actually make any sense. Insert Cal and Washington here.
Washington's not.
I thought Washington. No, Cal and
Stanford. Cal and Stanford.
Sorry, my deepest apologies to the 7 Cal fans out there listening to us today. Because the SEC can only take so many. And how many of those are actually qualified to be a Big Ten team? So we get the Big East back together. I think the next conference alignment is not going to be adding; it is going to be subtracting. I think take the Big Ten because I think it's easier. Why is Rutgers a Big Ten team? Because of where they located?
I mean,
historically,
were they Big East historically?
I think so.
I think they're Big East.
Northwest.
I think they were independent at a time too.
Northwestern. Why are they a Big Ten team?
I mean, where are you going to put them though? Where do they play?
Who cares?
I mean, Northwestern could be a Pac team,
but
they have Pac history. The Pac is such historic, right?
So what I'm saying is, if you're Ohio State, you're the president of Ohio State.
Yeah.
I just deemed you president. You're czar of Ohio State. and you look in the pie that the Big Ten has is millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then you look and go, wait a minute, we're getting the same size slice of pie at Ohio State, the number one team in the country, the prohibitive favorite right now, the possible back-to-back national champion, as Rutgers is, as Northwestern is, as Syracuse, not Syracuse, Boston College. No, Boston College is an ACC team too. But
yeah,
you get my point that they're getting the same check. The SEC could do the same thing. Alabama can look and go, until this year or last year, Vanderbilt gets the same check. Mississippi State gets the same check. Missouri, South Carolina. Like, what's really fair? Is it fair that take Northwestern and Ohio State are getting the same check every year? Does Ohio State deserve half of their check?
Well, and that's the scenario. The issue you really look at is, because we're looking, like you were saying, with Big Ten, Ohio State. Does Rutgers deserve the same check, or it's actually you said Rutgers?
Yeah,
I think we had the wrong conference on it. What you said Rutgers was ACC, right?
Yeah,
I think they're actually Big Ten.
They're actually Big Ten.
Yeah,
Rutgers is
Big Ten. Yeah, I think it's
State University of New Jersey.
Yes. Speaking of New Jersey, Pops is trying to be slick here on the comment section here, and he goes, "Where's Pops?" And then he's like, "Camden, New Jersey."
Purdue's 2-8 this season. UCLA is 3-6.
So your argument is, why are they getting the same check?
What? Yeah. What? Just because at one point in time y'all were close, like geographically, which we don't seem to care about anymore. We don't care about that. The fact that the Big Ten has the number 10 in the name, but has 16 teams in their conference.
Big 12 has
the
16 teams.
The ACC. I don't know if you know what the A in ACC stands for.
Atlantic, and you have teams from the Pacific.
Right. So it's.
I mean, I'd love to go back in a scenario where the Big East comes back, or the Southwest Conference comes back. I'd love to go down and go through that scenario where we're actually talking about a conference that is aligned geographically. I think that is, could be the best path forward for football, but that's not the popular path forward.
I'd even argue a different scenario.
Yeah.
I think you go, as much as I loathe soccer, is it the Euro League, where you've got the big boys at the top, and if you are terrible for a certain period of time, the teams in the next block could come up and take your place and everything. One, I think you go to a 16-team playoff. It is just the Big Four. The Power Five can go have their own 16, unless you're James Madison and you just happen to be ranked in the top 16, and then you have the choice. You can either be number 16 in the big boy tournament, or you can be number 1.
You're essentially presenting the idea of a NIT tournament
in
college football. And that's what it would be, because then you'd have a fake group of 6 national champion. And I mean, there's historics that out there, like the historic times, that will say no to that. I mean, there's no chance. But then again, you also have the times that say, okay, that's more football. Let's do it. It's competitive football.
Correct. And let's be honest. How much of a chance does James Madison, South Florida, who else were we talking about? That's the group of 5. Legitimately, how much of a chance do they have to walk into Georgia, the 5 seed right now, and beat Georgia, and then go play the 4 seed Alabama at a neutral site, beat Alabama, then have to go to a neutral site and beat the 1 seed Ohio State, and then go to Miami and beat the 2 seed Indiana? Like, it's just not going to happen. James Madison doesn't have enough of the Jimmies and the Joes, regardless of the X's and the O's, to go out and do it.
No, they need more than Jimmies and Joes. They need possibly, NFL talent.
Right.
In which they're not necessarily having. I can still see, guys, we are having some internet issues, and we're freezing up, but we're going to try to push through it like we did last time.
Yeah. Let me check that.
It's fine. Yeah, no, we're going to check it real quick and see what's going on, guys. This has been rough without Pops here with us to make sure we are moving along, right along. I could see we just popped off there. And Richie's going to try to get it set back up. Do what? Oh, and phone has died. Camera is down. So we are going to really quick take another break, and we're gonna get right back to it and push along real quick, guys. So we're gonna be right back here in just one moment. All right, guys, we are back. Technical issues have happened today, and we've just got to push through them. We appreciate Pops even more and more now that he is gone. And well, not gone, but he's out of town, and he was unable to join us today, and working through this. But we're back here, and we're going to push right along and continue what we're talking about. So I know we're continuing to go through this ACC scenario, and then we got on to how bad the conference are, and we need Pops to ride this back on track, right?
Yeah.
So I
He
guess
keeps saying if we get off the rail, I think he should actually say when y'all get off the bench, we need you to get back onto it.
That's exactly what it should be. All right, guys. So we are back here. You want to support the show even more? Hit us up. Or really hit us up in the comment section. We'll get to your comments here. Eventually, when the camera does not die, we will answer those. You can go ahead and leave us a like on YouTube as well. Subscribe if you have not already. We're trying to grow the channel up and try to get as famous as possible, because that's how you win at life. That's how you win at life.
My daughter would love if I ever became an influencer.
Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be? She's at that age.
Yeah,
she's awesome, right?
She's 9. She thinks it's the greatest thing in the world that her dad's on YouTube. So, shout out to my little princess. Love you, kiddo.
So, getting back on track here, Auburn's future.
We've spent more time talking about Auburn over the last like 2 weeks.
You know what it is? It gets interesting when they fire their head coach.
Yeah.
You know,
because Alabama's been real quiet.
Alabama has been quiet. I mean, we've kind of seen they've kind of gotten themselves back on the track. Obviously, the run game's still an issue, but defense looks good. They're punching balls out. They're doing what they can on defense. They're forcing turnovers. Alabama's offense has been good, barring last week. Ty Simpson's right on this Heisman track, barring last week.
But I'll even go further than that. When you see the little pop up come on, like we've got on the screen down there, the little pop up comes on ESPN or whatever. Yeah. All it says is Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia, Ole Miss continue, domination or whatever. Yeah. They're only talking about Indiana because they're not supposed to be here. They're talking about Texas A&M because they're not supposed to be here. And then they want to talk about all the craziness. Like, it's almost like Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Ole Miss are kind of just trucking along like they're supposed to. They're headed down 65. The traffic jam's behind them, So it's interesting to how quiet it seems. Now, obviously, any of those 5 teams I just named lose a game, and that's all. That's going to be the first thing Scott Van Pelt's going to talk about. If you have YouTube TV and can get back on and watch it. But yeah, I mean, so Auburn's been kind of the talk of the town because they've kind of sucked this season, to say it. But which is crazy because they've been close in a lot of games. They just couldn't put it together.
They've sucked in a way, and Pate brought this up the other day on his show, and he was saying that if the committee were to have graded teams, with factoring in that the refs screwed them in a way. One, Auburn would be back as the head coach of Hugh Freeze would be back as the head coach of Auburn, right? Okay. 2, imagine that scenario of an Auburn. Well, Auburn is 3-5, but actually they should be 10-2.
Right.
So factoring in that. If that were to be the case, imagine how hectic the college football playoff committee would be.
The
weirdest Saturday of all, or what they do that on a Sunday, actually, I think. The first or the last.
Yes, it's on Sunday.
Yeah. That would be one hectic one if they just, hey, by the way, we're going to implement this. And Auburn, we know you don't have Hugh Freeze anymore, but we want you back in.
Which, I mean, it's plus that's part of it. All right. You because of those calls, we assume, which is a huge word, that they beat Oklahoma if you call that touchdown back.
I mean, yes.
And they beat Georgia if he doesn't fumble and the call doesn't get overturned and whatnot and what have you, in the 38 minutes that took to play 17 seconds of football. Then, Hugh Freeze is still there. Do they beat Vandy? Because now the season's not a lost hope.
I don't think they do beat Vandy with Hugh Freeze at the helm. I think your best opportunity was to beat Vandy with DJ Durkin calling the plays.
I can't disagree with you.
But then
the only thing is I think some of the players quit because of those calls, because of those calls that cost losses. Because of those losses, what are you playing for?
They have, but in a way as well as I think that the possibility, if you talk about players quitting, I think they also quit on Hugh Freeze. Toward the end of his,
yes, absolutely.
The Kentucky game.
Yes.
I mean, the Kentucky game, for example, was a clear misdemeanor if they quit on Hugh Freeze completely. And then we saw last week how Cam Coleman was playing. We haven't seen Cam Coleman play like he did against Vanderbilt since high school, really. I mean, he just hasn't, because there were the 3 wide receivers coming in the class. It was Ryan Williams, there was Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, and Cam Coleman. Okay, those were the 3 big guys. They all went to separate schools. After one point, we all thought they were going to team up somewhere. But that didn't happen, obviously.
That would have been ugly.
That would have been real ugly. I think Jeremiah, it was the scenario was
not named.
I think both the scenario was Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams at Georgia.
Oh, man.
And then the other scenario was Cam Coleman and Ryan Williams at Alabama.
That would have been.
Those are the 2 scenarios.
Which is still on the table, by the way.
Yes, it possibly could be on the table. But, not really, well, possibly. But the way Cam Coleman played on Saturday was one of the best wide receiver performances I've seen in a long time for Auburn. Okay. Still doesn't compare close probably to, I'm going to blank his name, the Indiana wide receiver who caught the ball from
Oh,
Francisco Mendoza.
yeah.
He has a very close name to another star. It's like one letter off, and I'm gonna forget his name.
That boy's not here.
But also Fernando Mendoza, while we're on that topic, you texted me when that happened and said, was that the Heisman moment we were waiting for from a player? And I had told you the popular opinion was yes, that was the Heisman moment they were waiting for from a player of those top three players, Julian Sain, Ty Simpson, and Fernando Mendoza. That was the Heisman moment that everybody has been waiting on it.
Omar Cooper Jr.
That's it, because I was thinking Amari Cooper.
Yes.
Omar Cooper.
Yep.
But the unpopular opinion that I had said was, yes, that was a great drive, and that was definitely a Heisman moment. But should they have been in that situation in the first place?
Absolutely not. They shouldn't have been. But sometimes you have to put yourself in a bad position to show. Think of every great Houdini. Yeah, he had to put himself in a straitjacket to show you how great he was of getting out of a straitjacket.
But it still doesn't really cancel out the scenario where you just went toe to toe with Penn State and only beat them by 3, and it took a last minute touchdown, a last 1 minute drive to show you had inner Aaron Rodgers inside of you, but you shouldn't have been in that scenario in the first place. But the problem is how the odds market's going to put it and how it's going to be voted on. Is that's going to be the unpopular opinion. The popular opinion is Fernando Mendoza has that play that nobody else has,
because it's a TikTok moment.
It is completely.
It's a 30, 60 second show, the quote unquote Heisman moment that everybody's looking for is a TikTok moment. It's an Instagram reel. It's the
12 seconds of fame that we need to show off and show that the college football game is the best in the world.
Yeah, look how great this look. I mean, just show those 4 passes, dink, 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 touchdown. Show the kid stretching his size 72 shoe to touch just enough green grass for them to say, hey, touchdown. And that's your moment.
Well, Pop's hitting us up remotely saying, I don't think it happened yet.
Of course, Pops has been looking for a Heisman moment since
he's wanted
week 0.
So bad. He has. And I think he also wants it real bad for Ty Simpson, obviously. Yeah. Since, there's been a little bit of gap from Heisman winners from Alabama. What are we on, year 2 or 3 with him? No Bryce Young there in the building. I mean, we were so used to it during Saban's era, but
since the first one we ever had was Mark Ingram.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So Fernando Mendoza, I think the popular opinion was that he had his Heisman moment. The unpopular opinion is he shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with, but yes, it was a great play. John Paul hitting us up on YouTube saying Richie would be great on TikTok.
What would you like me to do on TikTok? Never mind. Please don't answer that. When is the Heisman vote due?
I think it's what, right after the regular season. I think right after conference championship weekend, isn't it?
Monday, December 8th.
So
is when the ballots are
less than a month.
Is when is the deadline. They're distributed December 1st.
Distributed December 1st. Okay, and then the deadline you have to get them in by. Yeah, I mean,
so you're talking the week after the championships game. So you could have a moment where Ty goes out and plays Texas A&M at 2:30, and Mendoza goes and plays Ohio State at whatever time their championship game is, and that's the last thing the Heisman voters see before they have to click, use their number 2 pencils and color in the circle for who they're voting for. So you've got to. Ultimately, I think it comes down to that. I think it could be Julian Sayin versus Mendoza, and then Ty versus Texas A&M.
Yeah, I think you may be right there. I think I think Ty might be on the outside in now.
Unfortunately, yes.
I mean, unless he goes out there and has a stellar performance against an Oklahoma defense that, by the way, has been getting their tip in place. They know the signs,
right? Allegedly,
according to Lane Kiffin, they know the signs.
Yeah, and
it's been addressed which is legal.
And Archie Manning, Archie apparently and Ty have become buddies, and
Archie and Ty have become buddies,
and they talk every Monday, according to the internet.
Yeah.
And
Monday buds.
And so they've completely revamped our But as great as this Oklahoma defense is, the two actually good passing teams they played, they gave up almost 400 yards in both games. So Ty could go out and just be like, okay, cool. And we have a fun day of sitting at the house, sitting on the couch, watching Ty just absolutely, slicing and dicing all day long.
I mean, the scenario's open for a lot of things to happen in the game on Saturday. But Alabama, I think they're going to have a rough time with this defense. And I think Oklahoma's going to have a rough time with Alabama's defense.
Yes.
I don't think I still haven't seen the game where Mateer is sitting there saying, he's going to be this phenomenal player that jumps out at the end of the year and makes a run in the playoff. And I don't think we're getting that from Mateer. I don't think that's this year. I don't know how Mateer is. I don't know if he's a junior or senior. Washington State. I think it's
junior.
A senior.
Yeah, I think it's a junior. Yeah,
we'll have to look it up here in a minute. No pops here to let us know.
So you can't go because you didn't buy the ticket, so you can't go to the Alabama-Oklahoma game Saturday.
I did not get the ticket.
So that's out. That's out. That's out. You can't go.
Yeah.
But I happen to have a magical ticket for you.
Okay.
Your choice. Where are you going? You're going to Georgia for Georgia, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to Pitt for Notre Dame Pitt. Or what was my other one? Oh, I had a third one that was really good. USC at Iowa. USC at home for Iowa.
Nah, that's out. Wouldn't do that game.
Okay.
I couldn't do Pitt in West Virginia. It's not as good as the other two games down south. Plus, I'd have to go up there and it'd be a long drive. And so unless it was Virginia and, I could scream shit Pitt, right? I mean, unless it was that, I don't think I would do that.
All right.
I can't scream that. It's not worth it to me. Georgia, Texas is a good game.
I think that's the game of the, in my opinion,
that's the game of the week.
Game day is going to Pitt.
Yes,
because they've spent too much time in the SEC.
And okay, fine, go to the Division II game then.
Yeah,
everybody wants them to go to. Yeah. Go to the Division II game that literally campuses are a highway divided.
Any chance Pitt actually pulls out that win and saves the ACC?
It would be a complete savior
because it drops ACC. Notre Dame's out.
Yeah,
the ACC's in. At that point, unless Duke still runs the table. I'm sorry.
Duke can run the table, be my guest. It'll be there for it. No, I don't think Pitt's gonna be a very big. I don't know if they can beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame's still a great team. They're sitting at 9. They're still a great team. Even though they're behind Oregon, I think they're better than Oregon. I think they're probably better than Texas Tech. But
I'd give you that.
Yeah.
But I think they're behind. If Notre Dame and Texas played Saturday.
I'd give Notre Dame the upper hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd give it to him over Oklahoma. I don't know that I would give.
I trust the staff more at Notre Dame right now than I trust the staff in Texas.
Okay.
To actually put together a good game plan.
I see. Okay. I wish I could disagree with you on that. And I don't. I think the line I would give is I would put Notre Dame above Oklahoma, but I think I would give Texas the edge.
I do want to be clear with that though. I trust Sark more than any other coach in the country to recover a team that's in his situation. But at the point right now, I just don't trust them compared to a team like Notre Dame. I just don't. To answer the question, I think I would probably go to Georgia, Texas.
Okay.
Magical ticket. Yeah. Georgia, Texas. Plus, I've been to Tuscaloosa a bunch, right? I like to shake it up, go to Athens.
It's not that far of a drive.
It's not. It's only a couple hour drive. Yeah. We're talking next year. We're talking about going to Bama and Mississippi State. Everybody says Starkville's awesome. We're going to put that to the test next year. You got this grin on your face.
I have so many things I could say. I'm going to. Let me hold a second. Let me check with my attorney. After legal advice, I'm going to refrain from comment.
Okay, very well then, guys. Go ahead. We do have. I think Pick'ems is now live on Facebook. If you want to go ahead and get your vote in there. I was lazy this week and didn't do it till today, but it got posted at 7:00 today. As soon as we went live, But Pick'ems is out there. You want to go get your vote in, you can do so. Also, if you're not, following us on Facebook, go ahead and give us a follow. It's the best place to keep up with all the updates and information surrounding Off the Bench, what we're doing and where we're going to be for the shows and stuff like that. But you're in the right place right here if you want to continue with us throughout the season. We're about to enter the holidays. We got bowl season coming up. It's just going to be a fun time here at Off the Bench. Saturday mornings, we hang out, grab you a coffee, grab you a beer, whatever floats your boat there, and come hang out with us while you watch us eat some awesome food that keeps getting given to us on Saturday morning. And we're going to talk some college football up into the kickoff at 11 o'clock, whatever game may it be. We're going to bring you all the way up until there. Who cares about game day, right? Game day's not important.
Speaking of game day.
Yes.
I know we're about to get off.
Yes.
I would be amiss if I did not bring up the absolute best game I watched Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It was an 11 a.m. kickoff. Oh, did I say kickoff? I'm sorry. Tip off. Alabama St. John's at Madison Square Garden.
I heard it was good.
Dude, that was an amazing game.
I heard it was good.
Alabama's basketball team is really good.
I heard Oates. Everybody's praising Oates right now.
Yeah.
That's to do with. I mean, when you go out and beat Pitino, who's fielded this great St. John's team, who's been good the past couple of years. I know they lost a lot of people in the pool, but beating Pitino anytime is going to be a great one.
And it was it's at the Garden. Like, so the magical ticket that I just offered you, had you have offered that to me last week, and my choices were Alabama LSU or Alabama St. John at the Garden,
Alabama St. John is good, man, in Madison Square Garden. And guys, we're about to wrap it up. I know we just hit the 1 hour mark. We had some issues today, but we're gonna go ahead and push through and get to Saturday. But I may have chosen that magical ticket for Louisville, Kentucky.
That was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
That was last night?
Yeah. Big rivalry game. Kentucky.
Why was that not at the Why is that not at the Yum Center? We talk about Army Navy should be the first game of the college season.
Louisville. I actually think that's a big rivalry game that should stay home and home. That shouldn't go to a neutral site. You should have that on home and home.
How cool though would it be?
You're gonna say in Yum or Madison Square?
At Yum.
Okay.
Half the daggum crowd is dripping red. The other half is dripping blue.
It'd be cool, man.
You kind of have Texas, Oklahoma.
I could see that, but there's a beauty about on-campus games.
But there is,
and I get Yum Center's a lot bigger than where Louisville would play, but it'd be
let both teams wear their home jersey, the color jerseys.
Yeah, that would be cool. I could see that. Maybe throwback jerseys, Kentucky, Louisville. That'd be sick. Be sick. All right, guys, we're a minute 15 over. We're just rambling on right now, having a conversation, but we're gonna be back with you Saturday. Pop's still out. He's gonna be in Oklahoma and Alabama in Tuscaloosa. He's gonna go have a fun time down there. He's gonna update us throughout the morning.
Be live on the scene.
Yeah, we should put him live on the scene. We're gonna discuss with Pops about that as he's listening right now, putting him live on the live on the screen and tell him to phone in. Pops hit us up. They play at the Yum Center. They already played.
Was it at the Yum Center?
Yeah, they play at the. Louisville must play at the Yum Center. I thought they had an on-campus facility.
I apologize for the last 72 seconds. And
Richie with his lack of knowledge, and I just went along with it because I didn't think about it. This is Off the Bench, guys. We've had a fun time here tonight, and we're going to be with you guys Saturday from 9 to 11. Go ahead and get your picks in this week. Leave a like, subscribe right here. You can help us out. It helps us out to get the word out there of what we're doing here at Off the Bench. We're going to be with you guys on Saturday, radio, iHeart, and YouTube. We'll talk to you guys then. Y'all have a good night.